Hi everyone, 411 on 911 again. Back with Lisa, our
Hi, guys.
big giant star over here. And today we're going to talk a little bit about vehicle accidents, hit and runs, all within the city limits. This is only going to deal within city limits and on city streets because that's where the police department handles anything vehicle involved.
Absolutely.
So, vehicle accidents, hit and runs, do I call 911 regardless?
Well, you want to call 911 when it's an accident and there's injuries and people need life-saving, activity.
Measures. And
yes.
Stuff, yeah.
When it's a fender bender and nobody's injured, there's not a huge hazard that's being created, then no, that would be a non-emergency call that you would want to make, especially with like a hit and run where nobody's injured, because there's no immediate danger to anybody at that point.
Yeah. Okay, so, pull to the side of the road, exchange information.
Absolutely.
Go on my day.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
When does Sac PD come out to an accident?
Well, there's going to be a couple of times when Sac PD is definitely going to come out. Obviously, we're going to respond if there's going to be injuries. That's very important for us to go out there and make sure that everybody's okay. When vehicles are blocking the roadways, creating a hazard, so if there's a leakage of some kind, traffic's really, really backed up, we'd want to get out there, help with traffic control. Those are definitely going to be the times that we're going to come out there. If you get in an accident and you're able to exchange your information, Sac PD won't come out there. What we're going to let you guys know is that you can file a report by going to sacpd.org. It's under non-injury automobile accidents or non-injury hit and run accidents, and you can file your report there. Spits out a report number when you're done. You just give it to your insurance company and go about your business.
And the reasoning for that is because we're not necessarily going to write a report on a fender bender call or anything like that. We're also actually not even going to be the ones who's going to determine whose fault it is.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So,
we're not going to determine the fault. That's actually going to come down to your insurance company and their investigation into the accident.
Because I know I get a lot of calls and people tend to get frustrated with us because they're like, well, it's not my fault. I want proof that it wasn't my fault.
Exactly.
And I totally understand that. I've been there. But unfortunately, we're just a middleman when it comes to things like that.
That's exactly
So it's
right.
your insurance company that does all of the footwork in determining fault and really doing the investigation.
Right. They're going to contact people. They're going to look into the area in which you had your accident. They're going to do all of that because they have the resources to be able to determine what actually occurred.
And that goes for non-injury hit and runs too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're also going to be the ones that are going to document everything for you, do all the research, and figure out who actually was at fault for the accident.
And try and figure out who actually hit you, what that car was.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Now, again, with hit and runs, if there's injuries, that changes the whole situation.
Absolutely.
Or if there's a hazard, because then it's putting, obviously lives in danger, other people in danger. So we're going to respond at that point.
Yes, absolutely.
What if I'm in an accident and the other person doesn't have insurance? They have a driver's license, they're cooperative, but they just don't have insurance.
Well, unfortunately, we won't be coming out for that. That wouldn't be an accident that we would come out for. What we would advise you is to also exchange what information you do have. Knowing that you yourself have insurance, you just give your insurance company whatever documentation or information that other person had given you. Sometimes people do have the uninsured driver's coverage, so that's probably what your insurance company would refer to in that instance.
What about no driver's license?
Now, no driver's license, that is going to be a call that we are going to come out for, because obviously you need to have a driver's license to operate a motor vehicle in the state of California. So we are going to come out there and we're going to check things out and make sure that everything is what it needs to be
make
done.
Sure, see if we can find if this person just forgot their license at home, or, I change my purse all the time and I leave stuff in the old one.
Absolutely. So make sure that that person is actually allowed to drive and they're not putting anybody in danger by not having a driver's license.
How about if I think the other person that hit me is drunk?
Well, that's a good situation because one, we're going to ask you what makes you think that person might be intoxicated. A lot of times people might say, oh, well, I saw them drinking. Well, we want to come out there because, again, you should not be driving a motor vehicle when you're intoxicated. Also, a lot of times people can say, well, I smelt some alcohol on them, or they were slurring their words. Again, that could be a danger to other people around them if they were to get into a vehicle and drive again. So we're definitely going to come out there and make sure that we check that out.
Okay. And so now let's get back. What differentiates an accident versus a hit and run?
Well, that's a very good question. So an accident is obviously one or more vehicles. It could also be an individual vehicle getting into an accident with each other. So when all the parties are still there, that's just a vehicle accident. You guys exchange information and everybody can go about their day. When it's a hit and run, that means that either your vehicle was parked and you were not in it and it was hit by another vehicle and they left, or you were hit by another vehicle, that vehicle didn't stop, or they stopped but refused to exchange information with you and then just left.
Okay, so what if the person gets out, gives me their name, and I get their license plate and they take off? I don't have their insurance, I don't know if their name is correct. Is that a hit and run?
Not really.
Okay.
That's really going to be just a vehicle accident. Unfortunately, they might not want to give you their insurance information, and then there's not a lot that you can do if they've left.
Yeah.
And unless you were to follow them, then it wouldn't be a situation that we would even be able to give you that information.
And then that potentially puts you in danger as well.
Absolutely,
So,
and you would not want to follow the person because you don't want to put yourself in harm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a sticky situation when it comes to accidents and hit and runs because they're frustrating.
Absolutely.
And, if you are out there and the people aren't taking off, but they're refusing to exchange information,
well, that
we'll
would be
still come out.
Yeah, that would be a situation that we would come out. What we would do is we would mediate. So again, we would not determine fault, but we would go out there and facilitate the exchange of information if that's something that they're not willing to cooperate with you for.
That makes sense. So, to sum it all up, if you're in a fender bender, you've seen the CHP signs up on the side of the freeways, pull to the side.
Pull over.
We want you to do the same thing. If there's no injuries and you guys can move your cars, all you need to do is exchange your information, and then you can make police reports online at sacpd.org, or you can actually do it at either one of the public stations for the police department too. A lot of insurance companies are going to ask for a police report,
Right.
and that's where people get a little bit confused with our policies because we say, oh no, we're not coming out, but you need a police report. So those are your two different options, and as always, if you guys have any questions, put them down in the comments, and we will do our best to get back to you. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.